Hello and welcome to Wealthy Mind. I am your host, Misty Rose Gold, International Success Coach. And here at Wealthy Mind, we love to help you create and maintain a wealthy mind. Today we have Rachel with us once again for round four. Ding, ding, ding. I'm super excited for this series that we're doing with you. Would you please tell the audience your full name and what do you do and why are we doing four episodes?
My name is Rachel Kramarchuk. I am a wealth manager with Carson Wealth. I am focused on helping business owners plan for their retirement. And most often that involves what are they going to do with their business? Because it's typically the biggest asset they have is their business. So that's a big part of their retirement plan. We are doing four episodes because we feel so passionate about business owners having the right information so that they can have a good outcome. A lot of business owners feel like, you know, they might need to just shut their doors. They don't know the options of that they can sell their business and that they what they might do to have a good outcome. So we're trying to
Mhm.
get the word out.
Yes, definitely. I echo that. It is a passion of both of ours to make sure that we get information out there that's available for people and it's a fun way to share it. So, thank you all for listening to our four-part series. It's so important, but also I think it's a curious topic. Like people can be very curious about, oh, what is exit strategies? What is exit planning? What does it look like from a coach's perspective? What does it look like from a wealth management perspective? And just what does it look like for business owners in general? So there's a lot of curiosity around it. And I want to scratch that itch for the public when they're like, what if I wanted to sell my business someday? What does that look like? No
Yeah.
clue. It's just a series of question marks or assumptions. So I'm excited for our topic today. Do you want to let the audience know what our topic is?
Sure. What we wanted to talk today about was how to not regret the sale of your business. The Exit Planning Institute and and several others talk a lot about that owners a year from exiting their business often profoundly regret one aspect or more of their exit. So it's
Why is
important.
that?
Well, wait, I've got a few reasons that I think.
Hmm.
I kind of think of it in two categories. So some of the reasons they regret their exit are around the deal. You know, maybe they didn't get the price they wanted. Maybe they didn't, things didn't go as they wanted in the sale of their business. So they regret that. Um, or there's another category that's more personal. You know, they haven't done the planning. They didn't know what they're going to do next. And they woke up, they don't have a business anymore. They didn't realize that that's where they got a lot of their community, seeing their
Mm.
employees every day. And so I think the other thing we want to look at is personal planning.
Mm. Okay. So what would you label that? Is it post-sell depression?
Yeah, I think it manifests itself differently for different business owners, but it's in that realm of that, not, depression or maybe a less
Lost.
serious word for some, but yeah, it can be very very difficult at first.
Yeah, they can feel lost, which I fully understand. And you mentioned community. It's like business owners who are in the right industries. Well, specific industries require that you build more of a network. And I think every business should, but some they can get away without having a tremendous network. So, um, community is everything.
Yeah.
And we talked in our conversation before. recording about how important community is and how fortunate I am as a business owner to have such a rich community around me. Um, when you're in a W-2 position, you don't have that usually.
Mhm.
You've got your peers, you've got people that you see every day in and out of the office, and then maybe your family. And if you have any extracurricular activities or your kids do, maybe you have connections there. But with business owners, when we are specifically in like service industries, you have to build a network and you have to have a lot of people, and it creates this amazing sense of community for us. I couldn't imagine life without it. Like that would be devastating.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think many owners just, they're so entrenched in their business, they really don't realize how much value they get from these
Mm,
groups, whether it's like having a strong networking community like you spoke about, or just
mhm,
really enjoy, bouncing ideas off of their team, or partners. They have suppliers and people that they work with every day, and so
mhm,
I think sometimes they underestimate how much value they get from that, and then the first day they don't show up at work after selling the business, and maybe they stayed on for a transition period and then they're done.
mhm.
It can be kind of abrupt if they haven't built some community outside of their work.
So it makes me think of a phrase, a common saying, you don't know what you have until it's gone. Hmm. That can be a lesson in itself to think about in your current business, anyone listening, in your current business, if it were to immediately disappear, what would you miss? And maybe that will help us have more gratitude and appreciation and positive thoughts toward the actual day to day of our grind.
Mhm.
I think this is a really important like subtopic to address
Yeah,
because it's true. People put their blinders on and just go and do, and then like, oh, it disappears, and then they don't realize what they had until it's gone. And that can be true in relationships too. But I think this is a really important lens for the business community is to be able to say, you know what, if business had to stop tomorrow, what would I miss? And then
yeah,
be more grateful. So maybe it's not as big of a traumatic experience if they do sell the business because
yeah.
they're already prepared for it. They already know the value that the business life brings. Huh.
Well, and if you do that exercise, I think that's a great idea, is to really just think through, and you have to spend some time doing this because, like, for example, a lot of business owners I've talked to, one of the things they miss is solving problems. Now, if you're in the day-to-day, you're in the
Mm,
problem, you're not good. That might not be the first thing you think about. You might not say,
yeah.
"Oh, I just love that." But
Hmm.
once you don't have that challenge anymore, it can be hard because you got a lot of fulfillment out of like getting through the problem, getting to the solution. So yes, I would definitely spend a good amount of time thinking about what you get out of your business, and then maybe take some time and say, okay, well, if I sell my business, how am I going to replace those? So
Mm,
community, am I going to find
hmm.
a group that I belong to? I mean, and if I am I going to continue these relationships with the group I was networking with? Maybe there's a way that you could do that. I know, some people very involved in their church or go to groups like Toastmasters. I used to go to
Hmm.
Toastmasters, and a lot of the people that went weren't professionals trying to get better at speaking. They were there because they enjoyed the community of it. They were
Or,
retired, and
yeah.
and they loved having that set meeting
Hmm.
every week. And
Hmm.
so I think you should spend some time thinking, like, if community is something you really get out of your work, how are you going to replace that? If challenge or problem solving is something that you get out of your work, what are you going to do to replace that? I think a
Mm,
lot of
that's a
business
big one.
owners think that,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to retire, I'm going to golf, or I'm going to lay on the beach. And you can only do so much of that. And especially for the type of personality that can build something out of nothing,
Hmm.
you're not going to be happy sitting around. So, I mean, you can plan a few months or a few weeks where you're going to really take it easy, but I think it's important to also plan what's going to be your next challenge. Maybe it's like an athletic challenge, run a race or something like that, or uh, another. I'm blanking on another challenge that they could do, but I think
Mentor,
it's
become a mentor.
yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
that's always helpful. I know that a lot of people from the business community end up mentoring others when they get into the retirement age,
Yeah.
just for the same reasons that you're talking about. Like we're addicted to the solving of the challenges, right? And I love that you didn't call them problems because I don't call them problems either. But there's a solution to every challenge that we face. Sometimes we may not like the solution, but there's always a solution. And like I'm so grateful that you brought this up because we can take that for granted and slip into a mode of complaining because there's always something in business. There's always something that we have to do. And this is the shit I hear from my people, right? There's always something. And I'm like, yeah, but don't you love it? Because I do. Um, we really need to like look at the future and break it down and bring it back to the present and be like, you know what? What would happen if my brain didn't have the opportunities to go to work and to expand and open up and bring in new ideas and bring in all these things? Like, would I be fulfilled? Would I turn to mush? What would I do? Like,
Yeah.
how am I going to approach that situation? So I know for me, I love creation and business is an act of creation. Even if you're already into it for 10, 15 years, you're still in a mode of creation.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do with myself without being in that mode of creation and allowing my mind to keep opening and expanding and growing and evolving. I would die. That's it. That's it. That's the answer. I would just die.
Well, hopefully you can have a plan, have some substitutes.
But it's kind of
But
like
yeah, it's very tough for a lot of business owners. It's
if
you've
you
been
don't use it, you lose
yeah,
it. So
yeah,
like I know that I would die like rapidly because I would stop using my brain. And that's a thing for a lot of people that retire. Business owners or W-2 doesn't matter. But when they retire, they just waste away to nothing. So that's another part of planning for your exit of your business is, yeah, look at like how can you replace those challenges, the mental challenges, so you don't waste away because that's a thing. It
yeah,
happens to a lot of
definitely.
people. And then what are you going to do to replace the community if you don't already have that in your private life? So when we don't have community, we can feel so alone and isolated. And there's lots of those things happening in the people around me right now because of the death that we're dealing with. There's a lot of people that feel alone and isolated because they chose that for themselves. Okay, can we make different choices? Can we please make sure that we don't let ourselves get caught in that situation? A lot of people can be afraid of dealing with people, but business owners, we kind of have to. So that's one of the blessings that we have to work through and push through as people is that if you're in a service-based industry, you cannot build a business without connecting with people. Like you just can't do it. So it forces us to not slip into that fearful state of living because some people are afraid of people
Yeah.
and they isolate. So let's not do that. If we exit our businesses, let's not put ourselves in a situation where we're isolated and we get like oh my God, we're on an island by ourselves. It's great for a couple weeks, and then you're like, oh, I don't like this anymore.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've had enough time with myself. Thank you. Where's the people? So I'm really grateful that you brought this topic to me. You guys, like, I just gave Rachel carte blanche and I was like, what topics do you want to cover in each of our interviews? And she sends me the topic and I'm like, let's go. So it's been wonderful. And I trust you. I like every time you send me something, I'm like, yep, let's do it. So I'm super grateful that you came up with this topic today. I think it's really necessary and important at this time that everybody is like going through and processing and with all the changes in our world and people trying to find that stability. Even if they're not thinking of selling the business, this conversation can be very helpful to any of our listeners and maybe help them find that greater stability or that greater appreciation for where they're at currently and get out of the head rush. So, yeah, really cool. Thank you for bringing this
Yeah. I
topic to
liked your
us.
spin on thinking about it earlier, where I mean we're always coaching people, prepare for their exit, but there's a lot of value
Mm,
in even when you're not thinking about your exit, you can think about your exit so that you can appreciate what you've got right now. Because
mhm,
there's a lot that you're getting from your business.
mhm. Definitely. And people will realize that when somebody has a conversation, they're like, oh, yeah, I'm just running on autopilot. Maybe I should think about this. Maybe I should appreciate what I have.
Yeah.
And
The
that's no
one thing,
judgment to
oh, yeah.
it's no judgment to our listeners, right? It's just we can all move forward in life with our blinders on and we can miss stuff. So,
I was going to say the one thing that I would like wrap up that personal planning category to like how not to regret your exit from a personal planning perspective is I think that no matter what you do to prepare for your exit, you can do all the planning in the world. You can like make sure that you have a challenge. You can make sure you've built a community. You can like know who you are outside of being a business owner, because that's another big one, the identity piece. And it's still
mm,
hard. We talked about before that my dad was a business owner, which was one of the things that it makes me so passionate about helping business owners through this process.
hmm
And I feel like he did everything right in planning for his exit. He decided, after I exit my business, I'm going to volunteer for youth that have gotten into trouble. And he was like a support person. So if they have to go to court, in addition to their legal team, they had someone called a CASA, and you can look it up because I don't remember what it stands for, but it's a support person there. And then he was doing networking. He had he was very involved in his church. He was on the leadership teams. We had community there. He had
mm,
friends he golfed with regularly. So he had a lot of the pieces of the puzzle that many, many business owners don't have when they exit.
mm,
And I still think it took about a year to adjust to the change of like,
hmm
I don't own this business anymore. I'm not running it. I'm doing these other things, which is good, and it helped a lot, but I still think it was challenging. And I would advise business owners to just expect that. And know it's okay. It's just part of the process. Is that it is probably going to feel weird. It is probably going to be
mm.
challenging, and it will get better.
And there's a bit of grief that goes in there.
Mhm.
So anytime that something big like that happens, there's the potential for grief as well,
Yeah.
because it's a loss. Even though it's a calculated and planned loss, it's still a
Mhm.
loss.
Yeah.
So the adjustment period to any loss is legit, and you have to give yourself time. I'm preaching to myself right now.
Yeah.
So, There are points where you're like, I'm so tired of crying, but it is what it is. And you just have to go with it and figure it out and do the best that you can and keep living. So, um, that's I think, theme right now for everybody, no matter what you're dealing with in life at this time. The bravest thing that you can do is just keep living. So do that.
Mhm.
You figure it out. And I mean, there's a
Yeah.
part of this where you just have to let go and figure it out. Um, there's only so much planning we can do. Yes, I love being proactive, but
Mhm.
only so much planning can really happen in life. So at some point, it's like, all right, I've done everything I can. I've crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's, and now I'm just going to jump and ride it out and figure it out. So you need to become a surfer, like a beach bum type of person in that moment, and just go with it. So yeah, but live. I mean, the whole point is live.
Mhm.
Wake up each day and live your life. Yeah. Is there anything that you would like to say as we wrap up? Do you have any parting words from the series, from today, anything that you think is important or that is on your heart to share with the audience?
I think that we probably said this every episode, but and we just talked about, you can't plan for everything. But if you don't want to regret the sale of your business, it's important to do planning, to start early, to understand what your options are, to talk to different professionals that can help you out. Um, a lot of business owners are so tied up in what's happening every day in their business and keep pushing this out further. And you don't have as many options if you push something like this out. Like, if you wait until you're ready to sell to have your first business valuation, what if it's a lot lower than what you need to retire? You don't have time to make changes to grow the value of your business. So I really, really recommend that business owners start talking about this earlier, start looking at it earlier, and work with some professionals that they trust to help them through the process.
Amen, sister. And you guys can use my Exit Strategies Mastermind as a resource. It's on my website, so mistyrosegold.com. That is a resource for the business community as well. Rachel's been, so that one is online only. So make sure that you guys can come if you're exit curious or exit serious, doesn't matter. You can still check us out and pick our brains. There's a lot of experts in the room that are very valuable. Um, Reach out to Rachel, all the things. Like there's so many resources out there. You have the Exit Planning Institute that's available as well. So there's a lot available if you just know where to find it. And then once you find it, you have to take the brave step and actually like go to one of the meetings or reach out to Rachel or myself or whatever the case is. So thank you so much for spending all of this time with us here at Wealthy Mind and with me and all of your passion. Thank you for sharing that with us and with myself. I really appreciate you and I appreciate the series that we've done. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Misty. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, likewise. All right, you guys, you've heard it here. I think we have blown up your brains with exit strategies and exit topics for the moment, but it's important, and I hope you got more out of it than just business because there's much more to all of us than just a transaction. So, um, be blessed. Have a great rest of your year, and we will see you guys soon. Thank you for being an amazing audience. Thank you for tuning in to the Wealthy Mind podcast. Please be sure to download the Wealthy Mind app today and make sure to support your local Dress for Success.